On is childcare affordability. So a lot to get to as we unpack this. You are watching Outnumbered. I'm Harris Faulkner, here with my co-hosts Kayleigh McEnany and Emily Campagno. Also joining us today, Ainsley Earhardt, co-host of Fox and Friends and author of the upcoming book, America, I'm So Glad You Were Born, celebrating the country we love. Yay. And Newt Gingrich is here, former House Speaker and Fox News political analyst. Great place to start. Let's start there. Your reaction to what we've just watched?
Well, in the first place, the number of things the Trump administration is doing on health care is astonishing. And in fact, it's so much nobody can cover it. And so across the board, they're doing things from helping have children at a young age to dealing with diabetes to progress on Alzheimer's to working on cost. It's really pretty astonishing. And that part of it was terrific. I think the most historically important section was when they talked about Iran. And that's because I think the president, when he gets back from China, is going to have a very difficult choice.
Really?
You know, the Iranians are not going to give in. And so he's either got to decide, and he was very clear again today. I mean, he believes the Iranians having nuclear weapons is a mortal threat to American cities. Well, then, if he really believes that, he'd better have the Defense Department or the Department of War figuring out a campaign strategy that allows us to stop them from doing it.
Speaker, having led in all different sorts of situations, you've seen how it can go on Capitol Hill.
Right.
How surprised or not are you that the War Powers Resolution, the Democrats say they're all bullish on and they want to cull the powers of this president, doesn't get by even the Democrats?
I think when you look at an opponent who has for 47 years chanted death to America, the idea that you're going to in any way look like you're pro-Iranian probably stops 2/3 of the members from raising the War Powers Act. I mean, what are they, if they raise it, are they really going to vote to stop the President of the United States from dealing with what he thinks? I mean, and this will become a real issue this summer. I mean, you want to risk Chicago, New York, Boston, Washington? Or are you prepared to say, yeah, this is really tough stuff, but we cannot allow the Iranians to have nuclear weapons and missiles that can reach the U.S.? And when you look at polling, when that becomes, I mean, people don't like the war, they don't like fighting, but when that becomes the issue, you get very big majorities that say, yep, you got to do something.
Yeah, and we're on like the 6th vote. I think we just had that, and
yeah.
it's still this president is able to do what he needs to do. Ainsley.
So Benjamin Netanyahu said that there's still work to be done, and he said enriched uranium must be removed from Iran and believes that it can be done physically. If the reason we're in this conflict is because of the nuclear weapons and what they could potentially do to America or to Israel, they do yell this. They yell it on the streets. They yell it in the megaphones, death to America, wipe Israel off the face of this map. That is what they believe in. They want to do that. That's their goal. So I trust President Trump. I trust the generals that he's talking to, and I'm going to go with this. I wish we could go in and get the enriched uranium. I do worry. Would that put our soldiers at risk? Of course it would. Is Israel planning on going in and doing that? Are they tracking it if they are trying to move it and unbury it? Are they tracking where they're taking it? I do trust the powers to be and those generals that are in the military that are directing the president. I just want everyone to be safe. But it was suggested, the energy secretary this weekend suggested that announced yesterday that Trump is open to all ideas to combat surging prices, talking about gasoline prices, including suspending the federal gas tax, which currently stands, y'all, this would save a lot of money, 18.4 cents per gallon for gas and 24.4 cents per gallon for diesel.
You know who won't do that? Blue states, like California and New Jersey and others that popped almost immediately at the beginning of this conflict before we'd even felt anything with gas prices, with the price of oil, I should say.
Why is that, Harris? They want the prices higher because they don't like Trump?
Well, they just want their money. I mean, I don't think it's even has anything to do with who's in office, because those taxes never You know, they never go back. They don't roll those taxes back. But yeah, it's also kind of a flex point to be able to say, you know, we're bucking the president, we're going to stay the same, that sort of thing. Emily?
Yeah, and we saw as well how they mismanage any type of federal funds. For example, with COVID, that's just a small example where $2 million, I believe, went to the intended recipients of the triple-digit millions that they were allotted. So unfortunately, the mismanagement, when you, I think, sort of take it a step further from also their policies, it's just a waste. And we see with this president, the ability for him to pull that tax is because of the efficiency that's been heightened with the government, right? When you slim up the efficiency, then you have more room to make decisions with. And if I may just comment briefly on the moms.gov, because I think it's a beautiful molecule of resources. And we've been scrolling through it. It's so user-friendly, but it combines so many resources that I think up until now have been siloed, like mental health and adoption, breastfeeding, preconception health, resources for women and parents, Trump RX and Trump accounts, nutrition quick facts, and then obviously the support services and the health centers that include pregnancy centers. And you put that in stark contrast with the Biden administration, where just a few weeks ago we learned how that administration and DOJ learned only of a couple pregnancy centers by Googling, but they were on a text basis with all of those abortion centers. And you contrast the language where when this administration talks about women's health and affirmation, they're talking about life. And they're talking about protecting and saving 2 lives and generations as a result. The prior administration and those on the left, when they're talking about care, they're talking about terminating a life. And so any type of narrative that you see about this situation is certainly not affirming life and choice. It means affirming terminating a life.
You know, and as you speak, Emily, I'm thinking about, look at who all these messengers are. There are men and women at the table now talking about these issues. I mean, that's something that President Trump has done, has brought in more female voices to talk about these issues for moms. Kayla.
Yeah, Emily is exactly right on this. You know, I've long said that we've got to care about these mothers as much as we care about children. We all have a heart for life here, but having a heart for life and the unborn means having a heart for these moms that often find themselves in the most difficult circumstances. The person they're with oftentimes leaves them. They are destitute. When you go to any of these pregnancy care centers, I go to a lot of them across the country, they will tell you, oftentimes the first thing a woman will ask when she comes in, she will say, I'm hungry, because they don't have food. And these pregnancy care centers, which are now finally acknowledged by the U.S. government on moms.gov, there are about 3,000 of them, they're driving women there. These are people who reach out. One mom said, look, I had 5 kids. There's only 4, or I have 6. This is a 6th pregnancy. There's only 5 seats in my car. They dropped everything they were doing at this pregnancy care center, raised money for a minivan for this woman. So these pregnancy care centers, they are heroes. And now they have the support of the U.S. government behind them, caring about moms from the moment of conception all the way to finality. Quick point on Iran. You get the real sense that President Trump may have made a determination here. He emphasized over and over again, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. He must have said that phrase 10 times. He said the ceasefire is hanging by a thread. And then he said this. He said, how stupid are these people? They think, well, if I get tired of this, I'll get bored or I'll have some pressure, but there's no pressure at all. We are going to have a complete victory. I get the real sense watching this president's made a decision. When he decides to take action, it may be after the China trip. I think that's wise. But I do think we're going to see further action in Iran, just my guess.
And it's so fascinating. I'll end with you, Speaker, on this one point. It's so fascinating how he literally can show the world that he tried everything, to the point where even the neighbors were fired on, the UAE and some of our friends.
Yeah, I think President Trump consciously followed a very slow roll, give them every possible chance.
Yes.
So it's pretty hard now to argue that he's being aggressive when it's so clear how bad the other side is.
Yeah. All right, we'll move on. A biological male dominates the girls' track meet, sparking outrage over fairness and women's sports. The heated debate, and it only gets hotter. Next.
I'm William Devane. Do you know why I like the sound of gold? I like it because it provides a feeling of safety. Gold is a tangible asset that helps preserve my wealth. You know what other sound I like? Rosalind Capital. Rosalind Capital is a trusted leader in helping people acquire precious metals. Gold bullion, Lady Liberty gold and silver proofs, and premium coins can help you preserve your wealth. Call Rosalind Capital to receive your free Rosalind Guide to Gold, Gold and Precious Metals IRA, and Silver Brochure. With Roslyn, there are no gimmicks, no hassles, and they have fast, reliable shipping. Gold is money. Make gold your new standard.
Call Roslyn Capital today at 800-630-8900. 800-630-8900. That's 800-630-8900.
Do you have difficulty with the stairs in your home? Christine and Ron made life easier with a Stilts home lift.
He's diagnosed with Parkinson's. He went to step up and lost his balance.
From there, we're in the hospital for 41 days.
And the determination for us to come home was quite great. That changes things on when it's lost their mobility. So we did some research and we came across Stilts. He's doing really, really well.
Yeah, I'm happy.
Request your free information pack today.
Your sisters are running early.
Early? This headache.
We've got an hour. Try PainQuil.
The max strength liquid pain reliever that starts working fast. PainQuil, the aches, pain, strains, head pounding, back aching, fights pain fast. Medicine, also in liquid caps.
If it hurts you to watch this, you'll want to hear this. The eczema medication you're taking may not be right for you. Visit myrawtruth.com and talk to your dermatologist about your symptoms and treatment options.
Okay, you got this. It's just a laxative. How scary could it be? You can do hard things.
Honey, relax. It's Miralax. It works with the water in your body to hydrate and soften for gentle relief.
Relax. It's Miralax.
A veteran who may have served in my time during the Vietnam era would be eligible today for a VA home loan. So many do not know that. There's no expiration date on your eligibility for the VA home loan. Every veteran, every service member out there, if you're thinking about buying a home, if you're thinking about a cash out refi, whatever you're thinking with a mortgage, you should come to New Day USA first.
Call now, 1-888-928-2089.
Forget the warm-up. DirecTV got hot. They're on fire with more MLB games than anyone. Welcome to the big leagues, kid.
How old are you?
11.
These eyes want a new look.
These want to save.
Better care that doesn't break the bank.
With a quality eye exam and 2 pairs of glasses at one great price.
An eye exam plus 2 pairs of glasses for $95 at America's Best.
When curiosity strikes about the everyday lives of your family, we're here with answers only your ancestors can provide. See their stories at Ancestry.
Spring, the unofficial new year for tool people. New jobs, new projects. Celebrate your new year with quality tools and savings at Harbor Freight. Coming soon, get a free 5-gallon bucket when you spend $29.99 in store.
I've paid into Social Security since I was a teenager. It isn't a handout. I earned it.
I couldn't afford retirement without Social Security.
My dad depends on it. I want to know I can depend on it too.
I counted on it to pay for groceries and prescriptions. Everything costs more now.
We hear you. AARP will never stop fighting for every voter who's counting on Social Security. Join us.
Get started on a GLP-1 program for just $79 with Noom. That's GLP-1s and a personalized weight loss plan.
It's not just the medication. It is really a very comprehensive program.
GLP-1s to kickstart your weight loss, Noom to make it last. Get started now for $79.
She's really getting up there. Yeah, she is. Don't feel your age. Act your age. Aspercream.
There's the measurement fee, delivery fee, restocking fee.
And installation.
That's not my department.
With Empire's Home Floor Advantage, we have clear, all-inclusive pricing.
800-588-2300 Empire.
Today. A high school track meet in California is drawing national attention after a transgender athlete delivered a dominant performance, sparking protests and reigniting the debate for fairness and safety in women's sports. A.B. Hernandez took first place in multiple jumping events, including winning the long jump by more than a foot ahead of the second place competitor, and the triple jump by nearly 3 feet. Some parents and activists argue that the competition is totally unfair, calling on Governor Newsom to intervene.
We believe in you. You're not alone. Our daughters deserve safety. They deserve fairness. They deserve their sport. They deserve their dignity back. Justice for our girls is not an option here in California.
The governor's office telling Fox News Digital that discussion around this issue should be, quote, guided by fairness, dignity, and respect. Newsom rejects the right-wing's cynical attempt to weaponize this debate as an excuse to vilify individual kids. The governor's position is simple: stand with all kids and stand up to bullies. You know, Ainsley, there's a very real possibility that the Olympics, which are keeping biological men out of women's sports and will take place in L.A., could have it right, and Newsom still has it wrong.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of all over the map with that statement. I don't really know which way he's leaning, because he did say, remember Charlie Kirk? He said that it really is not fair. And nobody's trying to vilify any child. No one's trying to bully a child. This person is an American, has feelings too. This is just about fairness and safety for our girls. And it's about Title IX. Girls, when you are an athlete at that level, at the high school level, and you're trying to get a scholarship, this transgender athlete is actually the #1 ranked triple jumper in the United States. So what if you've worked your whole life to be the best triple jumper, and then a biological male decides to race against you as a female? You've lost that spot. You've lost the #1 spot. So that's what, as a parent, that's hard, because we go several times during the week, every weekend she's doing her sport. You put so much time and energy into that, and then to what? Teach our girls that actually a biological male is going to take your spot.
The irony is that when Charlie Kirk asked Governor Newsom about it, he was asking about this very same athlete, A.B. Hernandez, who last year in March had a similar unfair victory. And here's how Governor Newsom responded in that case.
The young man who's about to win the state championship in the long jump in female sports, that shouldn't happen. You as the governor should step out and say no.
No, and I appreciate.
But like, would you do something like that? Would you say no men in female sports?
Well, I think it's an issue of fairness. I completely agree with you on that. It is an issue of fairness. So it's deeply unfair.
So no money where his mouth is at.
It's deeply unfair, the governor said. Now we see that all he is doing is trying to curry votes from the left. He's trying to ensure that he isn't banned from fundraising for his not-so-subtle stab at the 2028 presidency. What breaks my heart is the mom there that said there is no justice in California. There will be no justice for parents in California or their little girls. And it also breaks my heart that this has been litigated at different levels. And it seems to me that California is now stuck, dragged back in the past, because the governor is so self-serving as to simply want to sort of pad his coffers and his ego for his presidential run. It is obviously deeply unfair, and he's not so irrational as to not have seen it. So the fact that now he is so mealy-mouthed with all that he says and on so many issues that he refuses to take a vertebrae stance on, to now go backwards, you are absolutely right that those girls have now lost their futures, future opportunity, and so much that is important to be contemporaneous. What about scholarships? What about the student athletes, now NCAA, and the right, actually, the potential for them to be monetized? It's like we're watching a choose-your-own-adventure in real time, and the doors are slamming shut on these biological women that our mothers fought so hard for Title IX to begin with, only to take now 5 steps back and have these young girls fight the same fights. And in addition to that, the bureaucracy closing doors. Remember, we've talked about that and covered it. Censorship by the schools, suspension for daring to step out. If you do open your mouth, you are then labeled an anti-trans activist rather than a biological female activist, or simply just pro-girls, simply just common sense. It's so sad.
You know, Speaker Gingrich, when Ben Shapiro asked Newsom, he said, look, the question you're not wanting to answer is whether boys can become girls. Newsom's answer was, yeah, I think for the grace of God. That's not an answer. It seems like he is unable to answer these questions.
The insane wing of the left believes passionately, deeply, that everything revolves around trans. Everything. And therefore, if that means you have to eliminate women in sports, that's just the price. And so Newsom cannot function in the Democratic Party if he were seen as being anti-trans, period. And biologically, I mean, I think this is insanity. The objective fact is, if you allow men to compete in women's sports, you destroy Title IX. Yeah. You basically make it impossible for young girls to achieve their dream. And this is not complicated. But on the left, I think partly because of the whole theory of intersectionality, where the weakest element then triggers everything else. And so trans have now become the leverage point on the left for virtually everything. And it makes no sense.
It isn't just the women, though, who have to sacrifice for the comfort of men who want to identify as us. It's also men who are masculine. There's the attack on what's called toxic masculinity. My dad went to war more than once. I don't think there was anything toxic about it. He loved the country. So there's also the degradation of those individuals who are also men.
That's right.
So how can you win against a crowd that makes up a very, very small percentage, particularly in sports, but just in society? They are going to be insatiable. We as women cannot disappear. You as men cannot disappear. What are they hoping to gain?
It's an act of almost religious belief, and they cannot be rational.
Yeah. And it's not rational when you're on the 20 side of an 80-20 issue, or probably more likely the 10 side of the 90.
Even Serena Williams was asked about it, remember? And she said, if I had to play the top male that is now trans, she would beat me 6-0, 6-0.
Yeah, and this guy winning by 3 feet and 1 feet.
Yes.
All right, but that's a fair. Okay, the man accused of trying to assassinate the president in court today, why his attorneys want to disqualify 2 main Trump officials on the case. Next.
This program is brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Liberty Mutual customizes your auto and home insurance, so you only pay for what you need.
Bubble your insurance with Liberty Biberty and save hundreds.
Cut. It's bundle your insurance with Liberty Mutual and save hundreds.
These are fun.
I know they are, but let's focus. Let's go again.
Are they in my hair? Stubble and shave.
It's not it.
Bumble and save.
Bundle with an N.
Crumble and save.
Who gave him crackers?
Cuddle and wave.
You know, that's close enough.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Hey, also, I just downloaded the Experian app because I wanted to check my FICO score, but it does so much more. This thing shows you your FICO score, you can get your credit card recommendations, and it shows you ways to save money.
Do so much more than get your FICO score. Download the Experian app now.
Hi, folks. I'd like to tell you about YRefi. Did you know that as an accredited investor, when you invest in YRefi, your interest rate is fixed? And did you know that you can invest from 1 to 5 years, and you can spread your investment over those terms to best suit your needs? And you have the freedom to take your monthly interest as income or reinvest it, whatever you choose. When you invest in YRefi, your interest is calculated daily and you're paid monthly. Would you like some more information? Just call 877-80-INVEST. That's 877-80-INVEST. Or log on to investYRefi.com. That's investYRefi.com. For complete details, make sure to review the private placement memorandum and scan this QR code to view the disclosures at your leisure. YRefi, investing in America's future.
I tried everything for my stubborn dandruff, and then I found Nizoral. It works differently to get to the root cause of dandruff. Its active ingredient is 10 times more effective at fighting fungus, the primary cause of dandruff. Say goodbye to stubborn dandruff with Nizoral, now in refreshing peppermint and tea tree scent.
I never thought this would happen.
When disaster takes control of your life,
we got you.
Get it back with a single call to the team that shows up fast to make things right. ServPro, like it never even happened.
A Chewy pharmacy order is on the way for Homer, the homebody who only goes outside when nature calls. So Mom uses Chewy to get his flea and tick meds at a great price. Delivered fast, right to their door. For quality meds, for life with pets, there's Chewy.
Take your business from launch to legendary with Shopify. Sell more with the world's best converting checkout and turn analytics into opportunities so you can scale further, faster. Take your business to a whole new level. Switch to Shopify. Start your free trial today.
35 years ago, Riverbend Ranch set out to create beef that's better than Wagyu. We use the highest quality Angus cattle in the world. We think we've done it. Now you be the judge. Riverbend Ranch, real American beef.
Because there's always more to the story.
What comes next is the question.
Jesse's got it and telling it straight.
We know now where everybody stands.
Tonight on Primetime.
The 1986 to 2021 United States Silver Eagle, the first ever U.S. silver dollar minted in 99.9% pure silver and is the best-selling coin in the world. These original and historic silver dollars have ceased production forever. That's right, they will never be minted again. For a limited time only, full-pound bags of original U.S. government-struck silver dollars are being released to the public. That's right, you can own a full pound of original U.S. silver dollar coins featuring Lady Liberty and the heraldic eagle, never to be struck again, guaranteed. Call now to secure original United States Silver Eagles by the pound, the first U.S. silver dollars ever to be struck in 99.9% pure silver. Plus, receive a free bonus, an American Collector's Pack valued at over $40 and free shipping with every order. Call 1-800-973-3098 now to secure your full pound bag of United States Silver Eagle coins before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-3098.
Barrett hasn't taken a bite like that in years. Before getting his new teeth from Affordable Dentures and Implants, he could only watch with envy as his friends munched those salty little triangles. But now, that crispy bite he's been dreaming about, it's back. Crunch away, Barrett. You deserve it. Affordable Dentures and Implants. That's what we do.
Well, the man accused of trying to assassinate President Trump last month has pleaded not guilty to all charges. Cole Allen appeared in court this morning as his lawyers moved to disqualify U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro and Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche from the case. They say there is a conflict of interest, writing in a court filing this: U.S. Attorney Pirro, as well as Acting AG Blanche, are significantly more conflicted than the examples above. Both were potential victims and targets in what they have described as an attempted mass shooting. They were in the zone of danger, in the line of fire, and could have been killed. Yet these same individuals are moving forward with the prosecution and investigation of Mr. Allen. Mr. Speaker, conflicts of interest are often attempted, obviously, by the defense. We saw a very shoddy one in the Tyler Robinson case in Utah. But what do you make of this one, sir?
Look, I think the whole system is sick. I think you have lawyers who play games, who draw things out, who maneuver and manipulate. It has nothing to do with the truth. I mean, we have video coverage of this guy. We have a pretty good notion of who he is and what he did. But we'll now go through some dance that'll take years and have appeals and all this. I think we need a complete new approach to our legal system because it lends itself to exactly this kind of game playing, which is nonsense. I mean, you could argue that there are 2,500 or 2,800 people in that room, and therefore all of them are disqualified. Yeah. I mean, you know, this is the sort of game that lawyers play that have nothing to do with justice and nothing to do with the law. It has to do with making money.
And such a great point, as you and I were both one of those, 2,800 people, that usually this, I think, argument would go toward a malicious prosecution. Greater argument. She's only bringing this because, she was her. But to the speaker's point, it was an attempted assassination. That's what's being alleged here, with thousands of people in a room, including a lot of the cabinet. So it seems to me, well, if you want to find someone not affected, go to Mars.
Yeah, and I always pop that number a little bit bigger because of the dozens upon dozens. I was quoted up to 200 people who were working in that event. And it was so crowded, they were having to plate and do all those hard jobs in service for all the people who were attending. So that number might even be higher, closer to 3,000 if you count all those people who were doing a great job at their jobs. And I consider them to be called witnesses. That's what I think we are. And I don't think that you can discount all of our eyewitness experience that night. And I don't think that you can discount what it was like to hear the shots. We may not have contemporaneously, Emily, known what those loud bangs were, those pops were, but for those of us who maybe have been around guns, it was certainly on my mind that it could have been that, but I wasn't certain. As we crouched for a period of time beneath the tabletops of those tables, all of us trying to fit under at one point, yeah, I think we all have a lot to say. So I don't think that they can just soft policy this away. There are a lot of people who could testify.
And Kaylee, the analysis is not necessarily whether someone was in the room or the conflict existing, but whether it has material impact. So here, what I'm hoping for, though I'm not holding my breath, is a judge with more of a backbone than the one in Utah. Well, there will say, I acknowledge these two people were in the room and could have been targets. However, motion denied, and move on.
Yeah, and it took forever for that motion to get denied in the Tyler Robinson case, who was arguing the entire prosecution team should be fired because one of them had an adult daughter in the vicinity. It was ridiculous. To me, it's analogous to the argument being made here, and I believe it will be dismissed. But, you know, you expect this kind of tomfoolery from the attorneys. You don't expect it from the judge. And in this case, thankfully, Judge Faruqi will not be the judge over this case. But let us not forget that he is the one who looked Cole Allen in the eye and said, Mr. Allen, I'm sorry that things have not been the way they are supposed to, speaking to his prison treatment. So thankfully, Judge Faruqi is not on this case, but he is as tomfoolery-ish, that's not a word, of an actor as the attorneys, and I make that a word today.
Yeah, I'll translate, wasting everyone's time and our tax dollars and our patience.
Not to worry, it looks like it's an uphill battle because even the judge said the prosecutors have until May 22nd to file their formal responses, but the judge said he would be very surprised if Pirro or Blanche were considered victims. And the legal standards to remove a prosecutor typically requires a conflict of interest. And Judge Jeanine, to all of your points, did say that she was one of 2,500 people in attendance, does not impact her ability to lead the prosecution. And a judge, y'all are the lawyers here, but I was reading that judges usually don't remove a prosecutor when he or she is friends with the target. It doesn't really matter who's going to prosecute this case. They're not going to be on his side, obviously. They're prosecutors, and they have the goods on him. The weapons were all recovered. The buckshot pellet recovered from the Secret Service agent's vest was definitely a match for his gun, a gun that he bought. They recovered the mirror selfie and the hotel video of him scouting it out. So looks pretty guilty, innocent until proven guilty, but
nobody else had a buckshot, weapon that could fire that. Yeah. Only he did.
And so much more to come on this, guys. All right, Americans linked to the deadly hantavirus now back on U.S. soil. What the passengers need to do now to stop the spread. Next.
If you're a veteran, own a home, and need cash, call New Day USA. We're here to serve you with the same respect and commitment you gave our country. With automatic authority from the VA, we can help you borrow up to 100% of your home's value with the New Day 100 VA Cash Out Loan. Get an average of $83,000 to pay off car loans, credit cards, and more. At New Day, we look at you, not just your credit score. Call 1-888-928-2089.
This Memorial Day, we honor the brave who stood watch over our nation's security. At PCmatic, we're proud to continue that legacy by protecting your digital world. From American homes and local businesses to our nation's government agencies, we provide the only cybersecurity that's 100% researched, developed, and supported right here in the USA. PCmatic, American made, American strong. Visit PCmatic.com today.
Do you have a life insurance policy you no longer need? Now you can sell your policy, even a term policy, for an immediate cash payment.
We thought we had planned carefully for our retirement.
But we quickly realized we needed a way to supplement our income.
If you have $100,000 or more of life insurance, you may qualify to sell your policy. Don't cancel or let your policy lapse without finding out what it's worth. Visit CoventryDirect.com to find out if your policy qualifies, or call 1-800-515-4100. Coventry Direct, redefining insurance.
This May, Renewal by Andersen wants to give you a huge win. You can have our award-winning windows and doors right now, and you don't have to pay us a dime for 2 years. You can try to pay us during the first 2 years, but we don't want it. Really, we don't want it. Save it, spend it, go buy a pony, whatever you want to do. And of all the things you can do for your home, going with us is one of the best decisions you can make. Why? Because choosing Renewal by Andersen to replace your windows and doors makes your home worth more. 3 out of 4 real estate agents surveyed agree Andersen products increase a home's value by at least 10%. Do the math. I think you're going to be happy. And when you're ready to sell your home, it's possible that your new windows and doors could help pay for themselves by increasing the value of your home. Here at Renewal by Andersen, we value homegrown talent. Your local design consultants, measure technicians, certified master installers, and customer service team are all going to give you the best home improvement experience you've ever had. And wait until you see our exclusive Ensemble entry door systems. These are premium, custom-built entry doors that were designed for beauty and security. You're not going to find this door at a big box store. Oh yeah, and one more thing, no other window company is going to do the whole project, soup to nuts, with the nation's best warranty. And you don't pay us a dime until May of 2028. Call before May 31st, 1-800-704-4200. That's 1-800-704-4200.
Think back to the last time you got your car repaired. I'm going to go ahead and guess that you weren't thrilled with the price. That's because you didn't have CarShield. With CarShield, you pay a little now so you can save a lot later. Don't waste your hard-earned money on car repairs. Get a plan like me.
I've been a CarShield customer for over 5 years, and it saved me over $13,000, and my rate has never gone up.
I have saved over $8,000 total.
Here's the truth. Your out-of-warranty vehicle is going to break down, and you could save thousands. CarShield plans cover up to 5,000 parts and systems. They also include money-saving benefits like 24/7 nationwide roadside assistance, courtesy towing, and rental car options. Lock in your rate today with the Price Lock Guarantee. Make the smart decision. Call CarShield now.
CarShield has saved drivers more than $1 billion in car repairs. Call and get your free quote. Call 800-599-9608.
This is a bottlenose dolphin, and this is the breakthrough nutrient doctors discovered that helped some dolphins age healthier than others. It's called C15, and the more they had in their diet, the healthier they aged. Now, over 100 peer-reviewed studies later, Fatty 15 is bringing this discovery out of the ocean into everyday life to give your cells the same age-related benefits as all those happy, healthy dolphins. Fatty 15, healthy aging for all.
The group of American passengers and one British citizen from the cruise ship linked to a deadly hantavirus outbreak are now back on U.S. soil. That happened just a few hours ago this morning. 16 of those U.S. passengers have arrived in Nebraska for evaluation. 15 of them are in the quarantine center, which is our biocontainment at Nebraska University. They've got that there. And then we have a federal biocontainment unit that's there as well with one other. 2 other passengers have now been sent to Emory University's Serious Communicable Diseases Unit in Atlanta for further evaluation. Those passengers who disembarked the cruise ship yesterday in the Spanish Canary Islands were sprayed with a disinfectant and met by personnel in protective gear. Experts are saying they believe the initial infection happened before passengers began the trip at the start of April in Argentina. Emily, as we look at kind of how this has unfolded today, there were a lot of questions of why you went there, why you went there. Now we understand that there's kind of a triumvirate of, places in the United States, places where you can go, and Atlanta and Nebraska are 2 of the 3.
Indeed, and I think it's notable that these passengers are still being called passengers, not patients. They are, they have the ability to rest before heading there. There's these mitigating factors that are being put in place, but this is certainly not the outbreak movie where everyone should be panicking and running around with their hair on fire. However, the risk is real. And remember, we covered Gene Hackman's death and that of his wife, that horrific death there in New Mexico. They died of Hanta. Remember that? So rodent droppings, urine, and the transmission is very real. I trust our system to contain it. And I think they're doing a really good job of tracing as well where the passengers went prior to this and who they might have come in contact with. I think all of this stuff now, for me personally, bodes a little bit more sensitively after COVID, of course. But Hanta has always been level 4, and that's all, meaning it's always been a highly serious, contagious disease. And that's why, by the way, side note, all the rodents here in New York City, I would really love for them to maybe be mitigated. Mayor Mamdani, let's see.
Oh, you called his name. Speaker, it's interesting, along with what Emily was just saying, that we have always had this, and in all the decades that it's been prevalent among, rodents around the world, we have the fewest cases. There are hundreds of thousands of cases, around the world, but not here. But the point now is it's human-to-human contact, not for the first time, but just in a higher number perhaps than what we've seen.
Sure, I mean, it may be evolving some. I was out in Nebraska at that containment center, which is really a remarkable facility, which the U.S. government funded specifically for this kind of a problem. But I also think this should be a wake-up call. Our public health system is very antiquated. It's very slow. It still operates by fax, not by computer. Luckily, I mean, hantavirus is sort of, it's a problem, but it's something that, as the president said, it's been around a long time. We sort of get it. It mostly in the U.S. shows up in the Southwest for some reason, basically New Mexico, Arizona. But the next time we have a rapidly spreading disease, we really need a dramatically better public health system to be able to keep track of it in real time. We don't have that today. We do have 2 or 3, I think we have 3 facilities that are brilliant, but they're very small. You know, that they couldn't handle a real pandemic.
Yeah. Real quickly, we have some breaking news on this. 1 symptomatic individual is receiving care in Emory's biocontainment unit.